Sometimes life places us in front of situations that challenge everything we believe we know about ourselves. One of the most difficult is learning to let go of someone who never deserved us. It can seem like a simple task, but in reality, it implies a deep journey toward our interior, where we discover aspects of our psyche that we didn't even know existed. Carl Jung, one of the great thinkers of modern psychology, understood that our relationships are not only reflections of our conscious emotions, but also of those parts of our mind that we prefer not to look at. Why then does it cost us so much to let go of someone who has hurt us? What keeps us tied to that connection that we know in the deepest part doesn't benefit us? The answer resides in our shadow. Jung described this shadow as the hidden aspects of our personality, those that we repress because they don't fit with the image we want to project to the world. But the shadow doesn't disappear simply because we ignore it. In fact, it exerts a subtle but powerful influence on our choices, especially in relationships. When we permit someone to enter our life and take more than we are willing to give, we are not only compromising our inner peace, but we are also sending a message to our unconscious that we are not enough, that our needs and dreams are secondary. And that message converts into a wound that we carry with us, affecting our self-esteem and our capacity to advance. The problem is that we usually seek in others the validation that we should find in ourselves. It's as if we were trying to fill a void, a sensation of incompleteness that many times originates in past experiences. Jung invites us to explore that void, not with fear but with curiosity, because within it is found the key to liberate ourselves from the patterns that keep us trapped in toxic or unsatisfactory relationships. Letting go of someone who never deserved you is not only an act of bravery, it is an act of self-love. It is telling your mind, your heart, and your spirit that you deserve something better, that you don't need to cling to a connection that doesn't make you grow. But this process doesn't occur from night to morning. It requires a profound commitment with yourself, a desire to know yourself truly and to embrace every aspect of your being, even those that you prefer to avoid. Each time you choose to keep going forward, each time you decide to let go, you are opening space in your life for something new, something better. And although the fear of the void can be overwhelming, Jung teaches us that that void is not an enemy. It is a blank canvas, an opportunity to create a life more aligned with your true essence. When you understand this, you start to notice a change. You no longer feel the need to cling to people who don't value you. You no longer search in others for the validation that you now find in your interior. This is the power of integrating your shadow, of accepting each part of yourself, and of letting go of that which no longer resonates with your being. Because when you do it, you not only liberate your energy, but you also discover that the most powerful and transformative love is the one you give to yourself. This process of letting go of someone who never deserved you is not only a path toward emotional freedom, it is also a door toward greater self-knowledge. Jung showed us that each relationship in our lives, even the most painful ones, is an opportunity to learn something about ourselves. But to take advantage of this opportunity, we need to look beyond the surface, beyond the reproaches and resentments, and delve into what that connection really means. When we cling to someone who doesn't value us, often it is not for love, but for fear. Fear of being alone, fear of not being enough, fear of not finding something better. These fears are not defects. They are part of our human condition. But if we let them guide our decisions, we run the risk of living a life dominated by insecurity instead of authenticity. Jung insisted that facing these fears is the key to transform ourselves. The resistance to letting go comes in large part from our incapacity to face that void. When someone leaves our life, it terrifies us. The space that that relationship filled before, although it was a relationship that hurt us. But here is where Jung's work takes on more relevance. He teaches us that this void is not something we should fear, but something we should embrace, because in that void is the seed of what can flourish in our life. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring what happened. On the contrary, it means recognizing it fully, accepting the lessons it brings with it, and then liberating it. This act not only heals the heart, it also liberates our mind from the thought patterns that perpetuate suffering. When we let go of someone who never deserved us, we are saying that we are ready for something more, something that is aligned with our truth. At the beginning, it can feel like a leap into the void, an act that defies all our instinct of protection. But as we advance, we start to notice something extraordinary. The void begins to fill, not with the presence of another person, but with our own essence. We discover that we don't need anyone else to feel complete because that completeness is already inside us. This is one of the greatest gifts that the process of letting go offers us, the opportunity to reconnect with our true being. And it's not only an internal change. When we start to live from this place of authenticity, the external world also starts to transform. The people who before drained our energy begin to distance themselves, and in their place appear those who inspire us, who support us, and who help us grow. It's as if the universe responded to our decision to value ourselves more. This is the magic of letting go of what doesn't belong to us. It creates space so that the things we really deserve arrive. The path won't always be easy. There will be moments of doubt, of nostalgia, and maybe of pain. But each step you give toward your liberation will be an act of self-love, a reminder that you deserve something better. Jung believed that the true purpose of life is not to avoid suffering, but to find fullness in the middle of it. And that fullness is only possible when you choose to prioritize your peace, your well-being, and your authenticity. When you start to live from this place, you realize that letting go is not a final, but a beginning. It is the start of a new stage, a stage in which you are no longer defined by the expectations of others or by the wounds of the past. Instead, you are defined by the connection with yourself, by the strength that surges from knowing who you are and what you deserve. This process not only transforms you, it also redefines how you interact with the world that surrounds you. Jung taught us that our relationships are not coincidences. They are reflections of our internal state. That which we tolerate in others, that which we accept despite knowing it hurts us, is nothing more than a mirror of what we have learned to accept within ourselves. For that reason, when you choose to let go, you are not only leaving behind a person, but also the limiting beliefs that led you to permit that connection in the first place. At this point, a question can surge. How to know if it really is the moment to let go? The answer is not in the advice of others, nor in social expectations, but in your intuition, that silent voice that has always been there guiding you. When you feel that a relationship demands that you sacrifice your essence, your values, or your dreams, it is a clear signal that something is not well. Jung believed firmly that our intuition is a powerful tool, a bridge between our consciousness and our unconscious. Listening to it is an act of bravery and self-love. As you advance in this path, it is important to remember that letting go is not an act of disdain toward the other person. It's not about blaming or holding a grudge, but about recognizing that each one is in their own process, and that sometimes those paths simply are not destined to cross. This understanding not only liberates you, but also the other person, permitting them to follow their own journey. When you decide to let go, something inside you starts to change. It's as if you were closing a door that for a long time has let in currents of cold and turbulent air. And when closing it, you feel a calm that you hadn't experienced in a long time. This calm is not absence of emotions. It is the sensation of being at peace with yourself, of knowing that you are taking decisions aligned with your well-being and your authenticity. But the work doesn't end here. Letting go also implies a commitment with yourself to not repeat the same patterns. Jung taught us that if we are not conscious of our shadows, these will keep manifesting in our lives, leading us to relationships in similar situations. For that reason, it is essential to reflect on what this experience has taught you, what beliefs, fears, or wounds from the past led you to this relationship, and what you can do to heal and avoid repeating the same cycle. The answer, as always, is inside you, but you are not alone in this process. Jung believed in the power of human connection, in the capacity to support each other mutually in our journeys of self-discovery. Surrounding yourself with people who inspire you and elevate you can be an invaluable source of strength. These relationships not only support you in your process of healing, but also remind you what is possible when you choose to live from a place of self-love and authenticity. As you integrate these lessons, you will notice that you start to attract a different type of connection. The people who arrive in your life are no longer those who drain you or make you feel insufficient. Instead, they are people who see your value, who respect your essence, and who encourage you to keep growing. This is one of the greatest gifts of letting go, the space you create in your life for what you really deserve. The change you experience when letting go is not only emotional or mental, it also affects your energy in a profound way. Jung spoke of how our emotions and experiences create energetic patterns in our unconscious. When you cling to someone who never deserved you, you are maintaining an energetic bond that consumes your internal resources. This wear not only reflects in your emotions, but also in your capacity to manifest your dreams and goals. Letting go breaks that cycle of wear. It is an act of liberation that restores your energy and permits you to redirect it toward what really matters in your life. Suddenly, you start to notice that you have more clarity to make decisions, more motivation to pursue your objectives, and a renewed sensation of purpose. This change can feel as if you were finally taking control of your own story. But this transformation doesn't happen in an instant. It requires time, patience, and above all, compassion toward yourself. Jung reminded us that the process of healing and growing is not linear. There will be days in which you will feel strong and free and others in which nostalgia or pain will trap you. These moments are not setbacks but opportunities to deepen even more in your self-understanding. One of the greatest challenges of letting go of someone who never deserved you is resisting the temptation to look back, to idealize what was or what could have been. Our unconscious tends to soften the rough edges of the past, creating a romantic version that can make us doubt our decision. But in those moments, it is vital to remember the reasons why you chose to let go. Remember the impact that that relationship had on your well-being, the signals you ignored, and the peace you have started to experience since you gave that step. As you advance, one of the most powerful things you can do is reconnect with yourself. Dedicate time to explore who you are outside of relationships, what impassions you, what inspires you, and what gives you joy. Jung believed that self-knowledge is the base of a full life. When you know yourself, you no longer need to search for validation in others because you convert into your own source of strength and love. This reconnection with yourself not only strengthens your internal relationship but also affects how you relate with the external world. People start to notice the change in you, the confidence, the peace, and the authenticity that you emanate. This change is not something you can fake. It is the natural result of prioritizing and honoring your truth. And the more you live from this place, the more you attract relationships and opportunities that reflect your value. One of the most important lessons that Jung left us is that the external world is a mirror of our internal world. The relationships we attract, the experiences we live, everything is influenced by our internal energy and our beliefs. For that reason, when you choose to let go of someone who never deserved you, you are not only changing that relationship in particular, you are transforming all your system of beliefs about what you deserve and what you are capable of creating in your life. This is a moment to celebrate, not only because you have taken a brave decision, but because you are opening the door to a chapter in which you are no longer defined by the past, but by the person you are choosing to be. Each day that passes, each small step you give toward your authenticity brings you closer to a life full of purpose, joy, and true connection. As you continue in this path of liberation, you start to notice that something profound changes in you. The things that used to inquiet, the insecurities you used to carry, begin to vanish. This doesn't mean that you stop feeling pain or that the wounds disappear immediately, but it does indicate that you are learning to transform those emotions into something more powerful. Personal growth. Carl Jung believed firmly that suffering has a purpose. It is not something we should avoid at all costs, but something we must understand. In suffering, we find the roots of our humanity, the truths we ignore, and the forces that can impel us toward our best version. When you let go of someone who never deserved you, you are facing suffering in a conscious way, choosing not to let it define you, but to use it as a step toward your own evolution. In this process, it is probable that you face moments of solitude. These moments can be terrifying at the beginning, but they are also profoundly transformative. Solitude, when you accept it as a temporary companion, gives you the space necessary to rediscover. It is in these moments of silence when you can listen with greater clarity to that inner voice that has been trying to guide you all the time. That voice, according to Jung, is a manifestation of your unconscious, an inexhaustible source of wisdom and power. When you permit yourself to listen to it, you start to find answers that before seemed unreachable. You discover that you don't need the approval of others to feel valuable. You comprehend that you don't need to fill your internal voids with external relationships, and you realize that the love you search for has always been inside you. This transformation not only affects your relationship with yourself, but also how you perceive future relationships. Once you integrate the lessons of letting go of someone who didn't value you, you begin to establish higher standards for your connections. You are no longer disposed to settle with less than you deserve. This is not arrogance nor egoism. It is self-love. And this self-love not only benefits your life, but also the lives of those you choose to have near. Because when you value yourself, you inspire others to do the same. The power of letting go doesn't limit itself to personal relationships. It also affects how you approach challenges, failures, and disappointments. You learn to let go of unrealistic expectations, goals that no longer resonate with you, and beliefs that limit your potential. This act of letting go liberates you to explore new possibilities, to embrace change with bravery, and to create a life that really reflects who you are. And it is here where the magic occurs. When you start to live from a place of authenticity and fullness, the universe responds. The opportunities that before seemed out of your reach begin to appear. The people you find are those who complement your energy, not those who drain it. This is not an accident. It is the result of being aligned with your truth, of having taken the decision to let go of what didn't serve you, and of having opened space for what does. This path doesn't have a fixed final because personal growth is a continuous journey, but each step you give is a powerful declaration. You are choosing to live a life that is yours, a life that is not defined by the expectations of others, nor by the mistakes of the past. You are choosing to let go to advance, to create, to be. When you decide to let go of someone who never deserved you, you are taking one of the most important decisions of your life, to prioritize, to honor your essence, and to open yourself to new possibilities. This act not only liberates you from what weighed you down, but also transforms the way in which you relate with yourself and with the world that surrounds you. Along this path, you discover that letting go doesn't mean weakness, but strength. It is a testimony of your self-love, of your capacity to choose what makes you grow and leave behind what stops you. Letting go is an act of bravery because facing the void, the silence, and the deepest questions about oneself is not an easy task. But when doing it, you realize that that void is not the final, but the beginning of something much bigger. The opportunity to construct a life that reflects your truth, your value, and your purpose. As you advance, you convert into a living example of transformation and authenticity. The people who surround you begin to notice the change, and many of them will find inspiration in your capacity to choose yourself. This domino effect is more powerful than you imagine, because when you choose to heal and grow, you also create a space so that others do it. I want you to reflect on this moment. Think about what letting go means to you in the people or the situations that are no longer aligned with your path. And more importantly, think about the space you could create in your life if you dared to liberate yourself from them. That space is a blank canvas, an opportunity to construct something new, something that really fills you with purpose and joy. If this message resonated with you, if it made you reflect, or if you believe that someone else needs to hear it, I invite you to share this video. Maybe you know someone who is struggling with a relationship or a situation that doesn't let them advance. Someone who needs this reminder to reconnect with themselves. When sharing this content, you are not only helping that person, but also contributing to this message, reaching more people who need it. Leave me your comment here below and tell me what part of this message touched your heart. I would love to know how you are choosing to prioritize and let go of what no longer serves you. Besides, if you have ideas, experiences, or questions, share them. Each comment enriches this community and helps more people benefit from this space. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the little bell so you don't miss the next content. Each time you interact with this video, whether giving it a like, commenting, or sharing it, you help this message reach further, impacting lives and creating a chain of transformation. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Here we are, a community of people committed to growing, healing, and discovering our true potential. You are part of this movement, and together we can create a profound change, not only in our lives, but in those of the ones who surround us. Thank you for being part of this moment, for giving yourself the time to listen and reflect. Keep going forward. Trust in yourself and in your capacity to construct an authentic life, because the world needs more people who dare to let go, to grow, and to shine. We'll see each other in the next video.